radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 4 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. Elgin Fest 2024 kicks off with a vibrant lineup of performances scheduled for September 13th and 14th in downtown Elgin. The concerts get underway at 3 p.m. on the 13th and at 5 p.m. on the 14th. The Naperville Police Department is seeking new officers. Applications are open until November 7th with online testing scheduled for the week of December 9th and in-person testing December 14th. Interested candidates can apply at the Naperville Police Department. The Elgin Police Department has reinstated Officer Camacho following an independent investigation into an incident from January 13th of this year. Officer Camacho was cleared of any misconduct after responding to a distressing scene involving a suicidal man. Upon arrival, the officer found the individual with a self-inflicted wound and was forced to act when confronted aggressively. That according to the Elgin Police Department. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Microsoft has new computers that put AI first, this special category called Copilot Plus PCs. They have minimum specs plus a chip just for AI. The company unveiling the first Surface devices with the designation, powered by Qualcomm chips, not Intel. One notable AI feature is called Recall. It lets your computer remember everything you do so that you can find files, images, and websites later. More tech news tips on Rich on Tech.
Every Saturday from 1 to 4, right here on WRMN.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. College football last night, a huge 45-0 win for the Illinois Fighting Illini over Eastern Illinois. 4 touchdowns for Illini quarterback Luke Altmaier. Tomorrow, Illinois State visits number 25 Iowa. Western Illinois at Northern Illinois. Southern Illinois visits BYU. Northwestern hosts Miami of Ohio. Number 7 Notre Dame on the road at number 20 Texas A&M. The Rangers beat the White Sox 2-1, handing Chicago its 104th loss. Corey Seager hit his 200th career homer. Nathan Eovaldi tossed 7 scoreless innings. Is the 7th consecutive loss for the White Sox. They're just 4-33 since the All-Star break. They're on track to break the Major League modern record for most losses in a season set by the 62 Mets. They put up 120 Ls. Off day for the Cubs Thursday. They're on the road tonight visiting the Nationals. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. You know, I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match.
Attention all burger enthusiasts and game aficionados. Celebrate a century of excellence at Mott's Lounge. Proudly serving the community for 100 years under 5 generations of passionate ownership. Sink your teeth into our hand-pressed fresh burgers bursting with flavor, crafted just the way you like them. And while you're here, enjoy our exclusive drink specials, perfect for toasting to our milestone anniversary. Plus, challenge your luck with our state-of-the-art gaming machines, adding an extra thrill to your visit. Join us at Mott's Lounge and be a part of history in the making. Here's to another century of great food, fun, and memories. Mott's Lounge, where every visit is a celebration. For more information, visit us online at mottslounge.com.
Everybody, and welcome to WRMN. It is, of course, a political talk show right here today. It is Friday. I'll go ahead and date the show as we go through it as well. Free Speech Friday here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410 AM. If you are one of those people that like to drive the AM dial, spin it around, hit that preset button. There's a few people that have us preset number 1. Appreciate those people. This is Free Speech Friday. Go ahead, executive producer extraordinaire Bendemonium Boquest.
Thank you. I'm just driving you to introduce me to the show.
Oh, of course.
The most important part for me. No, I just wanted to comment. The people who like and follow us, this embodies your spirit. This cool, chill music in the background here.
It's true.
Cool cats like a political talk show.
It's true. All the best cool kids out there, the politically, healthy, non-malnourished. Don't be politically malnourished.
Yes. The nutrient-rich fan base of a political talk show.
The nutrient-rich. That's right. Healthy diets of media that's out there. We thank you for adding us to your media diet. There are a lot of different options that are out there. We appreciate you flying WRMN.
Absolutely.
If you'd like to join into the show today, if you want to be a part of Free Speech Friday, we usually have some great conversations. It's the entire show. Starts right now, 847-931-1410. You can jump in the entirety of the show. Usually what we do is we leave the last hour, the 5 o'clock hour, for like headlines and phone lines for that, so that we can open it up for you while we run down the headlines. But Free Speech Friday is all you. We don't have really any agenda other than let's talk about the news as it's coming through. If there's something on your mind, if there's something that the chat wants to know about. I think there was a question that Cleveland Dennis had yesterday that he didn't get a chance to put out there. So there's multitude of places to get a hold of us. And then yesterday was a bias day. I apologize for that. I was a little biased, but I had my Navy bias on.
Hey, yeah, you're allowed that, and you're allowed your emotions and your reactions.
I have opinions, right? It's not illegal anymore.
No.
It's not illegal to have that anymore. No. But that's it. So yesterday's show was all about just how fed up I was with the disrespect of our soldiers in Arlington, or rather anybody who's in Arlington. You deserved it by making the ultimate sacrifice, whether you retired in the military and then requested to be in there, or you were injured, or you were killed in action. Those are the people that are resting there and need to be respected. This isn't just like the way I kept putting it, it was like, what if I went to your grandma's gravesite and put my arm around the tombstone and said, donate to my Patreon, right?
Yeah, that's the context that a lot of people just don't naturally think of, but very fair.
Yeah, but not just like any grandma, yours.
Yeah. Yep.
Yours. So that's it. It's just we have to start with respect. Is what was my whole point of it. And if you can't respect the institutions and the places that people have, then I don't know where you actually respect people. And there's some people that turned around and were like, look, I really don't care about the military anyway. There were some people and some political commentators that turned around and said, yes, it was bad, but it was more bad in the fact that he feels that he can do anything he wants to. That's the biggest issue is still right now, even with talking about it, that's all over the news. It's the largest trending thing that's going on right now, and still given the opportunity multiple times to apologize for it, he made the excuse that, oh well, I didn't know. Oh well, my staff put it together. Oh well, it was a setup by the deep state. Like he ran through every single one of his normal excuses. Except for, you know what? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to take the video down. I'm going to do it. To the point where right after the Army put out the statement yesterday, one of his campaign officials said, well, here it is for you Army hacks. Like, put it right back out again on social media.
Yeah.
Like, you're doubling down on the disrespect. Like, you think you're cool for doing that.
Yeah, what I heard is that basically, like usual, it got blamed on someone else messed it up for me. One of my team members.
Yeah.
It's like, well, then look at who you're working with.
Exactly.
And who's representing you.
And you're telling me that one of your team members forced you to stand next to those people, also forced you to smile, and forced you to give the thumbs up. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that they've got some power.
Yeah, I have no autonomy over my physical proprioceptive decisions.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Well, in that same interview, because it was right before he went on stage yesterday. He's in Pennsylvania right now for over the weekend, and it was right before he went on stage. The other question that he kind of flubbed on, and a lot of people are mad about, is the abortion question, because he's voting in Florida.
Yeah.
And they kept asking, well, national ban, and he said the thing that the pro-lifers are absolutely mad about right now. He said 6 weeks too short. It needs to be longer. And it's bringing it back down to the states. So now Donald Trump is going really against the pro-life movement. And so he's really not making friends anywhere. That's the issue. When you turn around and you're like, oh, no, Ben, you're my best friend. Oh, no, Marky B, you're my best friend. Don't get Ben and Marky B into the same room together, because then it's like, you said I was your best friend. Wait a minute, Ben's your best friend? Like, that's where you have these issues with it. So if you try to, you're this salesman type of carpetbagger that is just going to say whatever he needs to, or whatever you need to get the yes right there in person. You forget that you're recorded. You forget that you're a presidential candidate, that we can go back and listen to your stuff. So this is the thing. You want to talk about flip-flopping, is, oh, we got it removed. Oh, we sent it down to the states. Oh, well, maybe a national ban might be the way to go. You want to talk about flip-flopping? Like, Kamala Harris said one random thing about fracking when she was trying to run a extremely progressive race that Joe Biden eventually won. But by all means, don't use the exact same litmus test for your candidate. To the same point of the interview, which is, I loved that the interview happened. I didn't like the interview. It was a little kind of just bland to begin with. But that's what we want. We want politics to be boring again, please. Yes. And it was boring.
Sure was.
There wasn't a gotcha. There wasn't. Now, Dana Bash did a really good job pushing. Mm-hmm. She followed up with questions, especially when nobody would answer them. Because the first question that Dana came out with was, what are you going to do on day one? And, of course, they've already got this introductory type of thing already sitting there ready to go in her back pocket, but she didn't answer what would be day one type of stuff. And Dana Bash turned around and said, okay, that's nice, but what would you do with day one? So it was a whole back and forth with it. If you want to go watch it, it's broken up into 3 parts, and it's on CNN. So you can go to YouTube and watch it from CNN directly. It's broken up into 3 parts. They're about 10, 11 minutes itself. So overall, it's maybe 35 minutes of your life to go see a boring interview. I know that doesn't sound exciting. I'm just like, hey, spend 30 minutes of your life listening to boring crap. It's like, well, no, it's boring, but it's informative. It's to that point where, like, you're going to hear a lot of people say a lot of things about it, about, oh, well, it was a softball thing. Oh, well, she had, what was some of the stuff that's floating around? Oh, she needed Daddy Waltz to be a chaperone and a bunch of other things like that. It's despicable. Traditionally, and I'm sorry that this is not a traditional candidacy or a traditional election. It hasn't been since the Golden Staircase, the Golden Escalator. There we go. I'll do that one. Hasn't been since then. But traditionally, even Donald Trump, the very next interview after a convention is the 2 people together. That's usually what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, Biden and Harris did it. You walk backwards, Trump and Pence did it. So now that they did it.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of Clinton and Gore. And, obviously, Dick Cheney was a large part of Bush's presidency. That was kind of a mainstay. You saw a lot during that time.
Yeah.
About that kind of dynamic.
But you haven't seen Vance and Trump.
No.
There's a whole disconnect with the 2 of them. I don't think they actually talk to each other because, taking it back to the Arlington Cemetery side of it, Vance last night said it's not like he was filming for a TV commercial. He was, in fact, filming for a TV commercial. And immediately after he said that, they posted the TV commercial in which he was filmed in it. So it's like they're not talking to each other, and I wish they would, because honestly, and I've said it a few times, like everybody else has, like Kevin McCarthy has said, like Lindsey Graham has said, and this is really it. If if Trump turned around, I'm sorry, I'm mixing up my old guys. If Trump turned around and said, these are the policies that I'm going after, this is the stuff that I want to do, and just stopped going after the personal things and the antics and the witch hunt stuff, if he just turned around and was a actual candidate and not a show, clown or otherwise, not a show, he would actually be a lot tighter with Harris right now.
Yeah.
But he won't. He just won't. He is unable of doing such. So that's just where I'm at with it. And good luck to both candidates. Obviously, I have my dog in the race, but I'm going to still give you guys all of the stuff that comes in there. In fact, Kamala even was asked about all of us. Kamala, you've been accused of all of a sudden being black. Do you have that clip for us?
In the interview, she displayed, I think, the best way that you can a defense against the crazy tactics. So here we go with that.
Last month, he suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
Long pause.
Any
same old tired playbook.
Yeah, there was no question there. It was just he did it.
That's it. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, she said same old playbook and said that's it.
Just literally a long pause and then, same old playbook. Next question.
Yeah, well they didn't even ask a question.
Yeah, that's true. Let's
play it again. She didn't
how
even ask
awkward
a
the
question.
pause. Yeah, like because when you watch it back, it is a little
he
awkward.
suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
Gonna go on.
Any
same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
Next question.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it. I mean, obviously you can't change your race. You can't all of a sudden just be like, hey, my DNA is different.
Right.
Now you can change what cultural focus that your family has. Maybe your family leans a little bit more in like
it's just a question you should never ask.
Yeah.
More so something you should never accuse somebody of. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but you're not white or black enough. Like what
exactly?
What do you say to that? Like that's what I mean. Like what do you have? Like it's if I turned around and I am both Irish and Scottish.
Oh, that's two
what I mean.
different
It's
things.
two completely sides. But it's like if I turned around and was like, hey, St. Patrick's Day, and everybody you went around, it's like that person in St. Patrick's Day that turns around and goes, aren't you Scottish? Like, aren't you? You're not Irish enough. Like, get out of town. Like, culturally, I could turn around and tomorrow I could jump into and practice a different culture. Now, yes, if that's what you're asking, has she identified with the black culture? Has she done things like that? First off, private business, do whatever you want to. Secondly, who are you to say that are you with her every single time? Are you like, well, you know what? All of a sudden she just started practicing Kwanzaa. Like it's just. Do you hear what you sound like?
It's just dumb. It's something that, it grows off of people having conversations and not people having conversations with the people they're talking about.
Yeah.
The old Eleanor Roosevelt quote, people, dumb people talk about other people, smart people talk about ideas.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Absolutely one of the most misquoted people in the world.
Yeah.
Because that, I think, is an Aristotle quote, which is who's the second most misquoted person in the world too.
Well,
so
for me,
we may be wrong.
Whoever said that first, be damned. It's a good idea. It's a good idea,
true.
and I don't care if they made a single red cent off of it.
They shouldn't. You shouldn't make cents off of quotes.
Yeah,
things like that.
Who made money off the cat doing the hanging in there thing?
Exactly. But that's it. Hang in there. But that's it. It's just silly. It's silly to turn around and be like, well, you're not black enough. Like, honestly.
Just always
that's what you're saying.
It's a suck your teeth moment.
Yeah. So, and I think she handled it great. Instead of turning around and going, I am this and I am that, and jump right into the, I hate that's my Kamala Harris impression, but that's how I would be mad about it.
It wasn't bad vocal range wise, but just saying, you're like wading into the territory of things we shouldn't do.
Exactly. So I shouldn't do that. Well, I'm not this and I'm not that. But that's the whole point of it is like now you're begging somebody to get into identity politics. You turn around and say, well, I don't participate in identity politics. But then you say, hey, your identity is not your identity. Like, do you want to be in identity politics or not be in identity politics?
Why are you the identity police over there?
Yeah, exactly. Who are you? Are you Ancestry.com that you're turning around and like, oh, you're
next question, please. Next question, please.
Exactly. So that's it. Again, this is Free Speech Friday. We're wrapping up to the bottom of the hour, but we want to tell everybody that this is Free Speech Friday. A Political Talk Show is here from 4 to 6 every day on the weekdays. We've got a Labor Day show coming up. Going to be fun. We're going to talk labor most of the day. And guess what? Dean and I are going to be taking the morning.
Really? On Monday?
Well, it's Labor Day, so we want to make sure the people that work for us have their day off.
All right.
That's the way to do it.
I'm going to book myself a job of physical hard labor to make a little extra cash.
There you go. Go out there and do it. Rake some leaves, do some stuff, clean out some gutters, as Walls wants everybody to do. I think that was fun.
Did he say that?
Yes. So there's what's that Subway guy who does he does interviews, and they hold like their Metra cards, like their microphones.
Okay.
And Walls said he judges people based off of how clean their gutters are.
Okay.
He says, I don't care what your yard looks like or anything like that. I'm going to look at your gutters.
Look within the gutters.
Within your gutters, because up north, it's the damage to the foundation for the freeze and everything else. And then he also said, I get water dams up on my roof too.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing of cleaning your gutters.
You ever had to do that?
Oh yeah.
Like, oh man, I remember as a kid that was like my job once I was old enough. Like, go do the gutters early spring, or maybe after fall. If the problem is if you wait over winter, they get packed with leaves, and then it starts to get that gross smell that the rotten leaves up in there, especially the later into the summer or spring you do it. So getting on the roof and scooping those gutters out, you got to get those ones that go over, so that only the water goes through.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Is he's got these gutter guards that go into it.
We're of the same brain, that's me and Walsey.
Well, because you got that dad mentality with everything of like, did you clean the gutters? Hey, don't forget to put your. You ever get this? You ever get the hey, you parked on a slope, make sure you pull the emergency brake there.
Right.
Put that engage the brake. And I'm like, what does that mean, Dad? It's like, engage the brake, pull the lever.
Mine was turn the wheel the right way so that you're
exactly.
If it goes,
in case it turns, you're butt up against.
Yeah, you have to do both.
Which is such like a I don't know. It's such a dad thing to say, and
it's so funny that. Because I just saw a random tweet that was, that Tim Walz is going to clean out the gutters at the White House. Like, that's going to be his thing. And I just laughed thinking, wow, that's funny, and not knowing that there was a history of him actually saying that. So
the other side, too, was in that interview, to just wrap up the Harris-Walz interview on CNN, one of the things that she said was that she was going to appoint a Republican to her cabinet. Because Bash asked her and said, look, you had a bunch of Republicans at the DNC. Like, they had like a Republican night that was just there. And so she said, absolutely. Because, I mean, there's been a whole bunch of people that have. Now, Biden hadn't. He didn't appoint a Republican. Trump had not appointed a Republican. But Obama did. And Bush did. And even as far back down, it really, really started with Trump not putting anybody who was on that other side. And then I would give the same thing to Biden. Biden has an ego as well. Now, we don't get to see it. We don't get the narcissistic aspect of it so much.
Yeah.
But we get the ego.
Yeah.
We get the you are not in politics for longer than I've been alive and not have an ego, buddy.
Uh-huh. Yeah. 100%.
It's just the way it is. You obviously, when you're in radio, you like to hear yourself talk. And if you're a politician, you like to hear yourself talk. I have an ego. Do I have the narcissism that attaches to it? I keep it at bay as much as I can. But that's the difference. And that's where I see the Walz-Harris ticket kind of coming back to that joyful, boring type of good for the future type of thing. And if you don't see that, then I don't know where you're at with this thing. I really, really want it to be a fair fight, which is where I want Trump and Vance to actually do it. And Vance said, of course, Trump would appoint a Democrat to his cabinet. Whether or not it's going to happen, we'll see. Same thing with Kamala and Walz. You're listening to A Political Talk Show right here on WRMN. If you want to jump in, 847-931-1410. Free Speech Friday. We'll be right back after the bottom of the hour news.
Next question, please.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. Elgin Fest 2024 kicks off with a vibrant lineup of performances scheduled for September 13th and 14th in downtown Elgin. The concerts get underway at 3 p.m. on the 13th and at 5 p.m. on the 14th. The Naperville Police Department is seeking new officers. Applications are open until November 7th with online testing scheduled for the week of December 9th and in-person testing December 14th. Interested candidates can apply at the Naperville Police Department. The Elgin Police Department has reinstated Officer Camacho following an independent investigation into an incident from January 13th of this year. Officer Camacho was cleared of any misconduct after responding to a distressing scene involving a suicidal man. Upon arrival, the officer found the individual with a self-inflicted wound and was forced to act when confronted aggressively. Not according to the Elgin Police Department. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Bank of America Merrill Investments. The Elgin Police Department has reinstated Officer Camacho following an independent investigation into an incident from January 13th of this year. Officer Camacho was cleared of any misconduct after responding to a distressing scene involving a suicidal man. Upon arrival, the officer found the individual with a self-inflicted wound and was forced to act when confronted aggressively. Not according to the Elgin Police Department. Elgin Fest 2024 kicks off with a vibrant lineup of performances scheduled for September 13th and 14th in downtown Elgin. The concerts get underway at 3 p.m. on the 13th and at 5 p.m. on the 14th. The Naperville Police Department is seeking new officers. Applications are open until November 7th with online testing scheduled for the week of December 9th and in-person testing December 14th. Interested candidates can apply at the Naperville Police Department. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
And welcome back to a political talk show right here on WRMN or your favorite podcasting platform. Go ahead and find a political talk show. Type it into your Google search or your Bing or your DuckDuckGo or
Ask
whatever, your Jeeves. Hop into Jeeves and be like, hey, Jeeves, play a political talk show. That's it. If I could actually change the smart speaker names, so like, you can't change Google. Google is always Google when you want to talk to it. Although Amazon Alexa can be Alexa or like a couple other names, including computer. Yes. So, which is neat. This is like a super Star Trek type of thing of the different ways that you can talk to your smart devices that are out there. Ask your smart device about a political talk show. It knows all about it. Between your smart device and the internet, I mean, they know everything. The entire Library of Alexandria sitting right there at your fingertips to discuss or be part of anything that you want to. If you want to be part of Free Speech Friday, go ahead and hop in right now, 847-931-1410. We already got somebody waiting in the wind, so go ahead and bring them home. Hello, caller. Welcome in. What would you like to talk about?
Is this your neighborhood pest? Oh, Tom.
Hey, welcome in, buddy.
I like that commercial. It's got to talk about Tom's carbon fiber bike.
Right? If you didn't know anything about Tom's carbon fiber bike, then you should know more about Tom's carbon fiber bike.
Exactly. I just thought of something when we were going through your commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder what the odds are for in Vegas for Trump winning this year.
Oh,
you're talking about computers, but I'm just wondering what the computer says.
Well, let's see. Let's see. That actually is posted.
We were talking about that. Yeah, I think last week we went over that.
If you want to hit the Vegas odds, I'll pull up 538.
I can go check it out, but I was just wondering if anybody's done that, because I think he's slipping.
He definitely is.
He's slipping in the polls because he's starting to lose it. Okay, here's the thing, though. I know what he's doing. And some of the polls have said, and you guys got to understand this, we're the male species here. The female species outnumbers the male species, okay? And a lot of them are your age or younger. And their attitude is family planning. I want to be able to do what I want to do with my body, my own body, and nobody else telling me what to do. See, that's the problem. And I've heard that from a lot of people on different talk shows where the younger generation says, as far as abortion, I should be able to do that if I want to.
Well, look at it this way, Dutch. The younger generation grew up with body autonomy. Like, they were born into a world where they had a freedom they were born into. I mean, Roe versus Wade has been the standard since, for, let's say, 50 years. So anybody who's under that age was born into a freedom. And then all of a sudden, that freedom was taken away. Imagine you're born into Second Amendment rights. Now, obviously, Roe versus Wade was not an amendment. Many people passed that up. I mean, we're talking all the way back to maybe Carter and Clinton and everybody like that who promised that they would codify Roe into law and just never did. But imagine for a second that you wake up and you're able to drive. You're able to drive every single time, and then all of a sudden somebody was like, nope, we're going to tell you who's allowed to drive and who's not allowed to drive. All of a sudden just taking a right away from somebody. Go ahead, Dutch.
No, and that's I agree with that. And see, now, it's not wrong that Trump is went to that side because it makes sense. All right? You see, okay, so let's say I was running for president. Two things I would change right off the bat.
I'd vote for you.
Okay, and I would do one of them right there. I'm religious. Okay, I believe in the Lord. I believe in a lot of stuff. Like I'm like everybody else. And here's the problem: That's my beliefs. Okay, I'm not going to rub it on anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with what the majority of the country wants. The majority. That's the thing. If you would put that up on a vote, and this is the thing that I don't get, let people vote on it.
Yeah.
I mean, if the majority says go this way, go that way. I mean, that's what this country is about.
Well, and that's the argument that they're putting together now that they've destroyed Roe versus Wade in there. They've said, okay, now you let the people decide. But now that all of these states are turning around and having different legislations, but for the most part, they are favoring the Roe versus Wade viability, which is about 22, 24 weeks is viability. Is really where everything's moving towards. If you even go back, because the Supreme Court now, the originalists now all want everything to be in precedent. You can't make up something or to say anything unless there's precedent from the time that the Constitution was ratified. So we've got to go all the way back to 1770s or 1780s to actually find something. Well, with abortion and just women's health care in general, there wasn't a law about somebody losing a child. So let's say there's an accident where a pregnant person loses their child. That was not a criminal act until after what they called the quickening, which is when you're able to actually start to feel the baby move. And that happens at about the 22 to 26 week mark. So even in Florida, I believe, is voting for 24 weeks or something like that. They have 6 on the books now, but I think they're voting for 24. Is that correct, Ben? If you know? No, that's okay. We'll look it up on the break. But that's it. See, go ahead.
No, and I agree with that to an extent. I think it should be done before that. And you know, unless it's a serious pregnancy that all of a sudden you had that, you know, it's either their mom or both can die. You know, I mean, it's one of those emergency type things.
Well, let me get a little personal with you too, Dutch.
I don't believe that. Well, I don't believe that in the beginning, if you do it right away. You know, once you get first pregnant, say, well, you know, maybe a month or so after you find out or something, figure it out and then, you know, deal with it then instead of, you know, but again, it's, you know, that's a touchy subject.
Yeah. Well, let me get a little personal with you, buddy. Before I have my youngest right now in January, the boss lady and I were trying to have a child, and I'll put it to you this way: if we were in Texas, my wife would not be around right now, because it got so bad that I'm glad that they did not wait until she was on her deathbed before they did something. And it's happening right now, where in some of these incredibly restricted places, they are turning women who are in the middle of miscarriage right now, and they are sending them out into the parking lot, or they're sending them out into their cars, or they're sending them out to the bench in the smoke area to then turn around and say, okay, when you think you're about ready to die, then come back in here and then we will treat you. That's what's happening right now because of this wishy-washy decision of just eradicating it completely.
Well, I agree, and I hear you. I got you, and that's, you know. But here's the thing: we're common sense guys, and that's not the role when it comes to politics. You know, it's all about who gives you money. You know, to me, people have to understand it's all about big money. No, it's always been about big money. It's always been about the rich and the famous. I mean, the talk shows, for instance, The View and a few others. Why is it that the stars carry so much leverage when it comes to politics? You know, if George Clooney says, I hate Trump, you know, I'll move to another country or something, or that's what Barbara Streisand said, I'll move to another country because I can't stand him. You know, that stuff.
It's money.
That's not. Yeah, but you wouldn't get that in another country. I have relatives in other countries.
Absolutely not.
They don't do that.
No,
They don't
Citizens
do that.
United and being able to donate to, because they don't donate to the candidate anymore. If I donate to the candidate, then it's bribery. But if I donate to the super PAC that takes care of the candidate, then that's not bribery. You see where you see where it's broken down, which again is another terrible Supreme Court decision. And a lot of people want to turn around and be like, oh, well, you're only calling for Supreme Court decision because Trump put these people on. No, the people who've been following the Supreme Court and the way that it has been manipulated and changed to favor those that are the elite and in that area have been screaming about this for the last easily 10 to 20 years, decades that they've been talking about. So this is the issue that we've got too, is we've also got 13 different districts that are also district court systems that are out there, but we only have 9 Supreme Court judges. So we expanded the districts nationwide, but we never expanded the court by another 4. Now, if I wanted to do it fair, I would turn around and say, yes, we are going to expand it up to 13, but this election you get 2, next election you get another 2. That way it's not somebody that we just vote one time packing the court with upwards of 3 to 4 candidates. You know what I mean? That's what happened with Mitch McConnell and everybody else with Trump.
But okay, so here's the thing though. It's not going to change anytime soon because, okay, unless, let's just say I'm 68, so you know this. The point is, people from my age and up, when they're gone and out of politics, it's the only time it's going to change. Because now some of the newer people coming in, like yourself, if you ran, people are voting for you because you got good blood. You got new ideas, fresh ideas, which makes sense, okay? Now, there's a couple out there that are kind of radical, and the only reason they're that way because they know they can get people on that side. One of them's AOC. Now, I was kind of hoping that AOC, even though she's on the left, would calm down a little bit and actually do something a little bit better, but she's too much of a radical, and I can't vote for somebody that's that crazy. You talk about Trump, I think she's the female version of Trump sometimes. That's just the way she goes off.
Yeah, more like an answer to what is
a bus, because she doesn't like what they're saying or something. But here's the thing. Whether Trump or Harris gets in office, and I believe Harris will, it's going to come down to the Senate and the House. If the Senate and the House both flip and they'll both end up having all Democrats and all Republicans, I want to say all, but enough to where they can, the Republicans can't overturn anything anymore, that's when we got a problem. Now we're going into it's the Joe Lieberman. It's the Joe Lieberman approach to everything. So this is why I want a landslide. I don't care which side it is. I want somebody to get something done for a change. Now I'll say which one I prefer on however you want to do it, and if you listen enough, you'll figure it out. But I want a landslide because if you only give them 1 or 2 vote majority on everything, you get the Joe Lieberman approach. There is a reason why Roe has not been codified into law, and that is because every time they walk it up, they then turn around and go, oh, I've got a Joe Lieberman, and he says he doesn't want to do this. Oh, we would love to give everybody free housing or ice cream on Fridays, but that Kristen Sinema, oh, she's blowing up everybody's stuff. Because what that does is the entire party is able to put the blame on one single person. Now, I could turn around all day and say, look, I'd love to give you all of this stuff, but the wife won't let me, type of thing. I always get to have the veto. And that's what happens is everybody else gets to look like a good guy and gets to look like, oh, yeah, I'm absolutely for free ice cream on Fridays. I absolutely am. It's the best thing in the world because I know
that Lieberman is going to step up, or Manchin is going to step up, or Sinema is going to step up, or somebody in the rotation is going to step up and take the fodder for that. And then we all get to go, oh, shucks. I really, really wanted to do that, but I just couldn't.
Meanwhile, you're getting paid in the extra ice cream.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm still collecting a check.
You're making me hungry with this. If you're going to give out free, I'll be over there in a second.
Come on over, buddy. I'll get you some ice cream. We've got Al's. What is it? Al's Cafe is just around the corner.
But I'm going to let you guys go. But a lot of people don't explain it the way you're explaining it.
There's
hope. It doesn't matter whether you're on the lefty or righty. To me, you explain it, and it's always been about getting things done, just getting things done the right way, instead of trying to play games with each other.
Yeah, and do something.
I'm kind of down the middle with everything. I don't agree with everything on either side. I never have. And I think most people are like that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem seems to be the world is collapsing. There's a lot of issues with other spots in the world, and it does affect us, And the thing is, we don't have politicians that come out and say, hey, to other countries. I mean, I do agree that Israel is going overboard with a lot of stuff, but then I'm not the one living in the backyard that's getting bombed every day. So to the people that want to be pro-Palestinian, I get you. But at the same time, the bad guys are with the Palestinians. I'm not saying the Palestinians are bad guys, but Hamas likes to hang around with people in Palestine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they know they can get away with it. The flexibility is there.
Yeah. No, the most important or the most popular thing to say is it's a complex situation. Excuse me. And thank you. Thanks. This is Ben, by the way, but thanks for listening and calling in and always having great stuff to say. What I always say about our approach is this is years of Dennis and I's conversations, basically.
Always.
Where we talk about all of this stuff in the complexities. And now this is either it's through the week or the years. This is basically our conversations brought to the air. And we're glad that people enjoy it and listen to it and are able to interact with it. So thanks again, Dutch.
You guys always got my, whether I agree or disagree, I always love this show. Keep it up, guys. Thanks.
Appreciate it, buddy. Hey, check out, audience out there, check out the Dutchman's Wood Shack right there on YouTube. Fantastic follow if you're already on YouTube listening to us or watching us. Go ahead and find him in the chat. He's in there. You can go right to his channel, subscribe, hit that alert bell as well. And it's absolutely apolitical. It's not like us where we pretend to be apolitical.
We're actually a political talk show.
Yeah, we are a political talk show. He is apolitical.
Yes. A woodman.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to get that ice cream for him as well. So 2024 presidential election odds, this is what we're sitting at for Vegas. I'm getting this from oddschecker.com because that was the first question he asked about. Donald Trump is sitting at plus 100. Harris is sitting at plus 110.
Oh. So
that means they're favoring her then, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I look
at
it.
She's plus 110?
Yeah, so Donald Trump is plus 100, so that makes him the standard. And then Kamala Harris is sitting at 110. So the way that I look at it and read it, for Donald Trump, if I put $100 in, I get $100 back. For Kamala, if I have to put $110 in to get $100 back, is the way I understand the odds. If I'm wrong, please somebody call me up because I like numbers because they make me feel safe.
I bet every once in a while on sports, and it still confuses me. I have to see the odds. I have to see what I stand to. I have to see my ticket afterwards. Yeah,
I need graphs.
I'm a visual learner. I know I do this every week, but sometimes I get lucky.
So then here's the graph that I'll tell you about. Project 538.com. What they do every day or every time that there's a new update of the polls, they will turn around and get you the side for it too. So if I go to projects.538.com and see who's ahead in the national polls, right now Harris is up 3.4. So she was up 3.5 yesterday. Now she's at 3.4 today. So this is absolutely where Hillary was when 16 actually hit. So if you look at when they held the election, that was the polling that was there. And that means that, Donald Trump has never won the popular vote, but we don't go based off of the popular vote. What else do they call it? They don't call it the popular vote anymore. People are starting to call it like the populist majority or something like that. It's weird.
Same thing.
It's the popular vote. It's because they don't like saying the one person was more popular than the person who won, and it's like, well, that's what happened. So it's just one of those weird things. But again, the founding fathers, if you look at when we went over republic and democracy, the founding fathers in the Federalist Papers did not want a pure democracy. They did not want it. Whether they didn't want it because they thought the average person was an idiot, or they didn't want it because they didn't want just mob rule in general. And by all means, those of you who live in a rural area, yeah, you probably appreciate the Electoral College because that doesn't let all the major cities decide who is president and who's what's going on. Yeah. Because if it was that, there wouldn't have been a Republican president since Reagan. Both Bushes would not have won. Trump would not have won. There's only one time that the president, a Republican, has won the popular vote, and that was immediately after 9/11.
Yeah,
and that was it. So what was that? 2004. Yes, when Bush won it, and that was it. That was the only time that happened, and also that was after the attempted assassination of the shoe. So that was so there was some an upswing on that. So
yeah, well, that was an American thing, but
well, yeah, but he still had a shoe thrown at him.
Sure did.
And a pretzel almost took him out. That was a little rough too. If you don't remember
the Enron shaped pretzel, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't remember that, there was absolutely a Snyder's of Hanover tried to take out.
I think he said the wrong thing to Dick.
Yeah, well, I mean, didn't he? Which one was it that shot somebody in the face?
It was Cheney. Cheney during a hunting trip.
Yeah. Just a bunch of just pellets in the guy.
If you haven't seen the documentary where Christian Bale plays Dick Cheney, and it is one of the best, if not the best,
Christian Bale
political movie.
Batman.
Yeah. Yes, plays Dick Cheney, and it is just so good. It's
the machinist. Christian Bale.
Yep. Yeah. It's really good too.
Okay. Yeah, well, thanks for listening to Apolitical Talk Show.
Go check that out.
I'm going to have to over the break. That's right. We're getting to the top of the hour. Don't forget that this is Free Speech Friday. If you want to jump into what we're doing over here, feel free. There is a phone number to call, 847-931-1410. There is a text message line to also get in, and that text message line is 505-926-1410. You can hop on that or leave a comment right there on YouTube, youtube.com/@WRMN Radio. If you go up to that search bar and type in WRMN Radio, you'll see the live streams, you'll see the channel. We're still pushing to get, we're hoping to get above 600 before the end of next week, or before the end of next month. And then honestly, we're trying to get as high as we can before the end of the year. We're shooting for 1,000.
Yes.
So go ahead and subscribe, hit that alert bell. Apolitical Talk Show here on WRMN. We'll be right back after this.
Rides located in their 80,000 square foot indoor entertainment facility. A great attraction for team building activities or just plain fun. Open daily at the outlets at the Dells Complex in Wisconsin Dells. Contact Knuckleheads at 608-254-7332 or visit their website at knuckleheadspark.com.
Get ready for a laugh-out-loud trip back to Hollywood's golden age with the Elgin Theater Company's performance of Moonlight and Magnolias at the Elgin Art Showcase Building at 164 Division Street in Elgin. This fast-paced comedy reveals the behind-the-scenes chaos between film producer David O. Selznick, director Victor Fleming, and screenwriter Ben Heck. As, in a mere 5 days, they struggle to write the screenplay for Gone with the Wind. Join in September 13th through till the 22nd, with showings on Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday matinees at 2 p.m. Find out more at elgin-theater.org.
And welcome to a political talk show right here on WRMN, the only radio station that strives to be down the middle for you. A bunch of other radio stations love to be on one side or the other, but here at WRMN, we strive to be down the middle, right there, as much as we possibly can.
Like a drive off the first tee.
It's true. Right down the middle. No slicing on either side. Right down the middle. Yep. We swing it the way that we need to do it.
You bring your own clubs.
Bring your own clubs as there. We're going to give you the facts, fair and balanced, etc. We report the news and you decide, right? Type of thing with it. I hate to steal other people's taglines.
We're passing the savings on to you.
More taglines. WRMN, just do it. It just
yeah, that one might be taken.
A political talk show, your political thirst quencher. Like it's
Prove it, scientifically proven to improve your media digestion.
There it is. If you feel like your media diet is a little unbalanced, this is the vegetables for you. This is the fiber of your political diet that's here. Why are we having so much fun with it? Well, because a political talk show is fun. Come on. If you can't have fun with your arguing, you'll never come back.
Yeah.
If you walk away mean and just like, oh, you talking to that guy?
Here's the real good question. What friend circle doesn't argue the second you see each other till the second you end, and then you're like, all right, see you next week
just
or
all
whatever.
The chop busting, right? I mean, just always back and forth. You can't bust chops on your own political party. Like that's the point of where I'm at with it. It's like even people who love their football teams still turn around and go, yeah, you're right. The guy's terrible, or we need to do this, or we like. Why are people more critical of their favorite football team than they are of their political party? Like that's the thing that just eats me up. It's like, you really believe that? Like that's what you? Oh no, I don't believe that, but that's what the party does. It's like, okay, well. There.
Yeah, a little more of that energy would be nice. If you know, like when your team is not doing good, the Bears, the Bears or the Cubs, it's like, man, I wish they would turn it around. Not, oh yeah, no, they're going to win it all type of thing.
Exactly. Like I'm going to sit here and tell you every year the Bengals are going to make it to the playoffs. No.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and I'm going to realistically evaluate something. Where did the objective facts come from?
Right.
Instead of me just saying whatever I want to, like the I know you are, but what am I? Like, like type of stuff.
In that vein, can I throw this out there as a prompt? Guys, come in and call in and talk to us about what do you think about the Bears this year? They're on Hard Knocks. Yeah. They've got the new first-round pick quarterback, Caleb Williams. They've got a bunch of good pickups in the wide receivers. They just got a new linebacker. It's an exciting time. And let me tell you what, it's a time where I'm feeling super jealous of people who have HBO.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're on Hard Knocks, and I haven't seen
Come
a
over the
single
house, man.
episode yet. Okay.
Come over the house.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
I've got somebody's HBO that I use.
Nice. Yes, that's
I mean,
how it works.
I have HBO.
Yeah, the person I knew stopped paying it. No, no, I was that person to someone else. But it's like, oh, man, I don't want to just get it for Hard Knocks, but I'll see it eventually. But if you want to give me some teasers, tell me which episode's the best and stuff like that, that'd be cool.
Do you know how you can make your profile on certain things like Netflix and stuff? I see a lot of these people putting these they're called crappy life hacks. They don't use the word crappy, but essentially what they're saying is go on, if you've got a Netflix account that you probably shouldn't have, make a profile that's just the generic picture and title the profile Ad User.
Oh, that's how you get
so you change your profile name to Ad User, and then when somebody goes through it, they're like, oh, okay. I was like, it's mom, dad, Ad User. Okay, it's cool. It's like
classic ex-girlfriend voice right there. Oh man,
that's it.
Tiffany and I aren't seeing each other anymore, so
exactly.
Ad User.
Ad User. I'm gonna change my profile picture and everything because I used to get mad before they started doing all of the before they started using the different profiles. I would get mad that somebody else would start watching one of the shows that I was already watching, and then I go in and I'm like, oh, okay, latest episode. You push play and you're like 4 episodes ahead of where you were.
Oh,
and that's why I'll tell you, I don't even let the kids in my Xbox account. Like, I'm like, you can't be on my Netflix account, you can't be on my Netflix, my Xbox account, and you for sure cannot be on my YouTube account.
Yes.
I'll tell you, you start putting children's programming on your YouTube account, it is game over,
dude,
man.
Yeah, that algorithm like sticks around. I still to this day get just everything I watched 4 years ago. It's just like they think that's all I watched still, and it's been 4 years since I've been watching that.
Exactly. I got a bunch of stuff the other day that was like, hey, Chris Hayes breaks down this thing, and I start watching it, and I'm like, oh, I'm only a couple minutes into it. I start watching it, and it's going into like this whole thing with like Clarence Thomas's wife and the insurrection side of it. I'm like, when was this put out? And right there at the bottom is like 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my gosh, with this craziness. Like YouTube, come on, man. I watch all of the new stuff. Like I look and see when everything was posted now. I have to, because I watch so much of the political commentary things. It's like, hey, there's not enough political commentary that's out right now, so here's something from 5 years ago. And it's like, no, that doesn't fit with what we're doing. If I want to know what happened 5 years ago, I'll read an article or I'll find a book that had happened in that kind of side of it. You don't want to watch YouTube videos of things from back in the day.
Surely not.
Definitely not.
That's good. You bring up an important thing in life in general, which I think has somewhat eroded. You just have to have hard boundaries. These boundaries, don't sit in grandpa's chair type of stuff,
Exactly.
Don't step in the study, after this, whatever. Don't mess with my the leather-bound books type of thing.
And I sent yesterday's video to my mom, and I'm like, hey, you're married to a veteran. Watch this. Watch what's going on. And she immediately sent back and said, no, I have to live here. I was like, okay, I see where you're going. I respect what you've got going on. So there you go. There's a lot of people that just purposely put their head in the sand for things, and it's just I just couldn't see the justification.
I was thinking about this yesterday too. We live in a time where you really can safeguard yourself from the media you consume, and a lot of people just don't even think of that in any way, shape, or form, and they just consume and consume and consume, and they're not even realizing that they're harming their mental health by binging the Dahmer documentaries and the worst of the worst kind of stuff.
Well, you ruin your algorithm, right?
Exactly. Beyond that, you ruin the first algorithm, the one that's in your brain. Your
critical thinking,
your critical thinking. Just vibes. That's why you see people. There was a big kick of adult Disney culture. people, millennials and older, or
like the Mandalorian and the Star Trek side of it, or are you talking more like the animation?
Well, the I guess the movement that I'm talking about is more so people who, to safeguard their mental health, they got the Disney Plus subscription and would only, go watch The Little Mermaid or like dive back into those deep dive feel good type of shows and stuff.
The golden case ones that are in there.
Yeah, for me, it's the Three Stooges. If I want to feel good, I don't want to think. I just go through all this political stuff, and that's for work and for my own personal. I'm interested in politics. I think it's important, but there is a limit, And when it's time to shut off, like maybe do news throughout the week, and then when it's Friday, I'm relaxing and throw on some Three Stooges. Sit there and just laugh.
Yeah, we're getting into spooky season, so I've been watching a lot of The Walking Dead. I just finished Daryl Dixon.
Nice.
Don't tell the boss lady I just finished Daryl Dixon.
Started watching it. Yeah.
Oh, she's watching? Oh, okay. I did finish it. No, it was pretty good. It was some places that it was just like, okay. At least what they didn't do was how they just left you off in House of the Dragon. It was just, ugh. I did not like this season of House of the Dragon, to speak about HBO again. Was not a fan. No, thank you. I talked to the boss lady, and we were like, you know what? Why don't we just wait until the whole hubbubaloo is done, and then we know the entire arch that goes through. But the issue with HBO is if enough people don't watch the thing, they just cancel the show. And that's what happened with one of my favorite shows on HBO was Deadwood. It was a fantastic show.
Yeah, I thought that had a full run. It didn't.
So it did and it didn't. It had enough of a run for them to kind of have a soft finale, and then there was such an uproar about it that, like, maybe I think it was 5 to 10 years later they came out with a movie to kind of like put a capstone on it. It's like the whole 6 seasons in a movie type of thing, which I really hope the community.
I heard rumblings that they were doing the movie.
Oh, I can't wait.
There's also, what other movie are they doing that I was just hearing about? I'll think of it later. Next.
There's a Beetlejuice. I just saw that.
I'm gonna take credit for that. I'm gonna take credit for putting that out there.
Yeah.
I like to talk about Beetlejuice often, and I think I may have started that.
But it sets it up. Like, do you remember that movie? What is it? Now You See Me, the one with the magicians and everything. It was Woody Harrelson and a bunch of other people in it. I think Mark Ruffalo is in it. Morgan Freeman. It's all about magicians, right? Now You See Me. What would you think the second thing would be, right?
Yeah, Now You Don't.
Yeah, Now You Don't, right? Would be the second one. No, Now You See Me Too. No, Now You Don't.
Yeah, do the fun.
So Beetlejuice, the first one came out, and now you've got Beetlejuice 2, but it's not called Beetlejuice 2. It's called Beetlejuice. And you could just imagine the trilogy.
Creative. Which Tim Burton said no.
No trilogy?
He said, he just kind of deflected when someone asked, is there going to be a Beetlejuice 3? He was like, no. He just said, I would be like 100 years old because of the 30 years between the two movies.
Oh, okay.
So,
and even then, like it is, I think, chronologically, I think there's 30 years between the storyline too.
Sure.
I think is the way that they put it together.
Yeah,
so
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, Dumber and Dumber-ist.
Yeah, did that happen too?
No, there's Dumb and Dumber, which is the second one. I don't think there's a third one that's out.
No, they had to remember they had the original one, then they had another one with 2 different guys, and then they brought the Lloyd and Harry back as Carrie.
Yeah, they did the first one. They did a prequel, and then they did a sequel.
Yes,
for it right there. And, yeah, but either way, it's like those type of things. So to bring it into that political side of it, we were talking about the Harris interview, and she's praising Bidenomics. But she's not calling it Bidenomics. She's talking about all the great things that we did, and this is what's going on. And Dana Bash, twice was like, so you like Bidenomics?
Next question, please. That's it? That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's there. So she's kind of just saying, yeah, we did some good things. Inflation Reduction Act as well is there. But there's a lot of things that are being built now. And it was, even to that, it takes time for these things to happen. They don't just wave a magic wand and say, hey, this act did the thing. No, even the implications of the act or putting it together it takes time. So I had somebody the other day when we were talking about just the Trump era versus the Bidenomics versus all of that stuff. They were like, yeah, the first 2 years of Donald Trump's I guess candidacy or terms or whatever you want to call it of him being in office were great. And I said, yeah, because he was handed over the Obama economic plan that was on the uprise. you can literally see the upward trajectory that was going all until we started putting 25% more debt into what we do. Now, yes, you could turn around and say, hey, pandemic, but if you're going to turn around and say pandemic for the 2016 to 2020 side of it, you have to do the same thing for the Bidenomics and the inflationary side that we had before. And even for the fact that we are getting multiple reports about price gouging, where they were using the inflation in some sectors to raise things up. So that's finally started to temper down. It's finally started to come down. Violent crime has been on the drop since Biden took office. Inflation has been on the drop since Biden took office. Let's see here. Unemployment rate has been on the drop since Biden took office. It is a slow burn in politics and everything, which is why you have to have people that have core values, because they're handing it over to another person to continue. It's back to the what is it? The righteous is the man who plants a tree that he will never have shade from. It's that same thing. Is if we march into the path of American exceptionalism, and that's the way that we try to film it here or frame it in American politics, is you have to keep marching towards that way. And that's why we have things like precedent and honor and tradition for things. If you don't have those things, if you aren't integral and you don't have honor and you don't have respect for things, you are going to get the political climate that we are in right now. And that's just the way that it is. If you completely blow up the norms, expect no norms to be implemented to the next person. You have to act, and we talked about this yesterday when David called in, where it's the golden rule is great. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Problem is, a bunch of people don't like themselves. If you have an entire population that just has low self-esteem and doesn't love themselves to begin with, they're going to turn around and lash out to those people if that's the equation. So I take it from the Immanuel Kant position of treat everything as if it was universal law. So if I had somebody who had a radio show about politics, what would I want that person to do? If I come to a stop sign, what would I want everybody who comes to a stop sign to do?
Yeah. When you do it like that, it's a a good way to think of it. I think it's a little too black and white for me, though, when you think of situation by situation, because when you start doing that, that's when you really do Start putting things in boxes and categories.
But your situation.
Yes. Yeah. It's a little too hard-lined for me personally when you say put everything in universal law. When I think of that, I think in the regards of gravity. You're not going to stop gravity from happening. So in terms that apply, in situations that apply like that, universal laws that are actually universal laws.
For the full universe. But I don't mean universal as in like the astronomical universal. I mean universal as if it's all of us together.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just saying like the stringency can work against Well,
but here's the thing. Stop sign still side of it, right? I am going to stop at the stop sign in that situation of me just driving around the road. I want to stop at the stop sign. Now, do I have an emergency in the back seat that I need to blow through all of these stop signs? Then that's the situation that you need to do.
Yeah,
like for instance, in that situation.
Yeah, if you're blocking the intersection for an emergency vehicle behind you. The people who take Scott's Law too literally when they're like, okay, I'll just stop in front of the ambulance. Like, the ambulance is here, so I'm going to stop in the wrong lane in front of it so that the ambulance is now traveling in the other lane to go around you. It's like, use your common sense.
The diagonal places, too. Like, diagonal places and then the gridlock. Oh, my gosh. Have you ever driven Lower Wacker at, like, 5 o'clock, 5:30? It is all gridlock. I do not know how I'm not still there now. That's how, it has been at least 3 years since I've been there, and I still don't know how I got out.
That's a bad dream, yeah. When you're like Lower Wacker Drive on rush hour, you're like, I'm going to be here forever. Dang.
Yeah, because it's gridlock underground, too.
Claustrophobic.
It's all these people trying to make the light. No, stop at the line.
The great smells.
Yeah, I don't mess around with traffic. I treat that for it there. Now, I go with the flow. Maybe I speed a little bit too much because I got places to be, and I'm tired of driving an hour and a half every time I get in the car. I may, I might not read the numbers as well as somebody might think it would. But I understand the general law of if somebody is passing you on the right, you are in the wrong lane.
Yeah.
I live by that one.
Yeah.
Somebody is rolling up behind me. I don't care if they're doing 90, 100, whatever. They're rolling up behind me. I need to get out of the way.
Yeah. There's ways to do it.
But there are too many people trying to kill us out there in the world with these death machines that are moving around. But, if you want to call, it's Free Speech Friday. We're trying not to be as politically charged. We're kind of breaking it down because it's a long weekend. You got any plans for this weekend, buddy?
Dude, I want to see Alien Romulus.
There's a lot of people they're talking about that.
Yeah, I still have not been to the Evanston movie theater. That's like, a football throw away from my house. Yeah, it seems like a cool place. I'm going to go check it out.
They renovated it last year, too.
Yeah. I saw that. So
the Elgin Marcus Theater's just up the road too, and they're like $9-10 a pop.
Ooh,
yeah,
wow, that's cool.
Like they've got specials on the what do they call it, the matinee, where they do it from there. And then I think Brendan was talking about he was talking about how there's a one of the second run theaters that's around too, because I'm trying. Okay. I am staying absolutely away from Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah,
I am like,
you don't want the cinematic experience.
No. I am consciously staying away from spoilers. Hello, everybody. I'm consciously staying away from spoilers.
Got it.
Because like every time I see it, it's like, oh, did you know this character or that character? I'm like, no, stop! I want to watch it on Disney Plus and not be able to sue them for anything.
Well, really? Yeah. Oh, near them opposite.
Yeah. The Disney Plus.
Not opposite.
You're not allowed to sue Disney for anything. If you have Disney Plus, you have signed away every single litigation for everything.
That's the argument. They're still talking about that.
They've said that if you have a dispute, you cannot take them to court. You have to take them to arbitration.
So dumb.
They will not take you to court.
Yeah, we'll have to follow up on that story.
Yeah. I'm sure they've got something.
We're going
that's
to
in
break,
there. Hey, hit that break. Right here, Apolitical Talk Show.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. Elgin Fest 2024 kicks off with a vibrant lineup of performances scheduled for September 13th and 14th in downtown Elgin. The concerts get underway at 3 p.m. on the 13th and at 5 p.m. on the 14th. The Naperville Police Department is seeking new officers. Applications are open until November 7th with online testing scheduled for the week of December 9th and in-person testing December 14th. Interested candidates can apply at the Naperville Police Department. The Elgin Police Department has reinstated Officer Camacho following an independent investigation into an incident from January 13th of this year. Officer Camacho was cleared of any misconduct after responding to a distressing scene involving a suicidal man. Upon arrival, the officer found the individual with a self-inflicted wound and was forced to act when confronted aggressively, not according to the Elgin Police Department. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by the U.S. Postal Service. The Naperville Police Department is seeking new officers. Applications are open until November 7th with online testing scheduled for the week of December 9th and in-person testing December 14th. Interested candidates can apply at the Naperville Police Department. The Elgin Police Department has reinstated Officer Camacho following an independent investigation into an incident from January 13th of this year. Officer Camacho was cleared of any misconduct after responding to a distressing scene involving a suicidal man. Upon arrival, the officer found the individual with a self-inflicted wound and was forced to act when confronted aggressively, not according to the Elgin Police Department. Elgin Fest 2024 kicks off with a vibrant lineup of performances scheduled for September 13th and 14th in downtown Elgin. The concerts get underway at 3 p.m. on the 13th and at 5 p.m. on the 14th. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
And welcome back to WRMN. That is WRMN 1410 WRMN.com and WRMN 1410 AM. That's amplitude modulation for those of you playing at home. Not the FM, which is frequency modulation. This is way cooler, where it's amplitude modulation, and it is no way digital.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching on the YouTube side or listening to the stream, then by all means, ones and zeros are all kinds of traveling around. But you on the AM side, analog. It's still analog. They never changed it to the old digitization.
Love it.
Yeah, VHF, UHF, FM, all ones and zeros now.
It's like sometime, I think in the 90s or thousands, like craft breweries marketed themselves as being analog beer.
Analog beer, really?
Yeah, analog beer in a macro industrial age or something like that. That might be a brewery out there who does that. But,
okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, all kinds of fun stuff that is going around from there. Supposedly there's a weather alert that's moving around too. I'm just going to pull that up as we move through today. I'm still sitting at 77 degrees, and I don't see much of a weather. Oh, there it is, thunderstorm. So locally heavy as it moves through. So be careful out there. I know we had that big storm, what was it, Tuesday? That we had all of that weather that just ran right through. Oh my goodness. I was in the O'Hare area in Rosemont.
It was looking rough.
Oh my gosh. It was coming in sideways. 45-degree angle. Easy. The rain was coming in.
Yeah.
You know those giant signs that like spin and have like the bank name on them or whatever? So over where I was, there was one that just kind of wasn't lit up or wasn't spinning. It's just kind of a dead sign. The wind was spinning that thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like it was literally spinning like an easily like 500, 800 pound just sign.
Sure.
It was just spinning it.
Yeah, when I was driving on the highway, just into a giant wall cloud, hovering over Evanston at the time, and the way my route went, that I just went basically like kind of through where the storm path was going.
What'd you get? Did you get something good?
Nice.
I see them over there at the thing with the 9 Inch Nails shirt.
Douglas Avenue.
Must have been great.
People walking by.
Ooh,
Gotta love it. Listening to WRMN.
I bet they went to the Goose Juice or whatever they got going on over here.
Haven't been there yet.
I can't wait till we're here. But yeah, Evanston got hit real hard.
Yeah.
We got hit real hard here for a little bit, to the point where we had to have the roofers come in, which was a whole nother thing. But that's the whole point of just improvements. You don't know that something's going to happen unless the storm shows up, right?
Sure.
To weather, can you weather the storm is only provable when the storm happens.
Silver linings.
Yeah, that's it. You can't weather a storm. It's the other thing of like, a plan is only as good as its opportunity to be executed. I can plan whatever I want to. I can plan a trip to what have you, but if I don't have the funds or the opportunity to go, then what good is my plan? So stay safe out there over the weekend, but I don't think we're going to have much of weather problems over the weekend too much. We might have a few things here or there. So here's what we're going to go through. We did have some more polls on 538. Have a good weekend, boss. I'll see you later. Right here on project538.com, you can see that I think what we reported was just the other day that Kamala Harris is unfavorable. I think she was unfavorable by like 2 or something. Let me see. We reported it on like the 20 something. Yeah. So the 23rd, when we reported it, she was sitting at 1.9. Her favorability has now gone up and her dissatisfaction has gone down. So she's now sitting at a +1 unfavorable. Nobody likes politicians anymore, including Kamala Harris. Do Americans have a favorable or unfavorable opinion of Donald Trump? Well, since the same time frame, where we sat here for, let's see here, on the 23rd, he was at a 9.7. We are now looking at a 9.4 unfavorability for Donald Trump. What that means is that the favorability of Donald Trump is sitting at 42.9, and the unfavorable is 52.3. They ask him the two questions. Do you favor or not favor? Well, actually, do you favor, find him okay, or not favor him? They ask him the three options that are there. So if you turn around and say 42.9% of people find him favorable, where 52.3 find him unfavorable, that puts him at a plus 9.4 unfavorable rating. So now I'm doing a lot of this math because I have to prepare you for what's coming in about 60 days, where we are going to break down so many numbers.
I need graphs.
And graphs and all kinds of stuff. If you want to go to 538.com, plenty of graphs that are over there.
Love it.
And that's what I really want to get to us to start to think about that type of side, because we have to, if you don't believe what the polling says, what is your objective measure? Like if you don't take the poll, if you don't take statistics, if you don't trust the organization that puts the thing together, what is your litmus test? What is your objective test? Turning around and saying, well, I just don't like their face. That's not an objective opinion. Absolutely subjective, like almost definition of subjective. Or I just have a bad feeling about them. Again, not an objective opinion. Now, if you turn around and say, I'm 75% that I don't like them, it's like, it sounds objective, but it's still subjective. Yeah. So multiple people putting in multiple research and asking multiple people that are not them are really where you get your objective facts from.
Hey, I have a story.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is a story about legal weed, illegal marijuana in a time of decriminalization.
Yeah.
But here's a story highlighted on CBSnews.com, which popped up in my Not the Onion subreddit that I checked quite frequently.
CBS News is fantastic. CBS News is if I remember, is a Nexstar group. So they're still part of News Nation and The Hill and things like that.
Yeah, and this is the New York affiliate. So it's one of those things where you take it with a grain of salt. Like I saw something online about Fox News local station, and all the comments were like, oh, well, big surprise, it's Fox News. But like the local affiliates, it's a different flavor than the straight up Fox News. So it's important to remember that.
And most of the time, the locals will take AP and other people anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. There's thankfully, there is still a standard out there. But in talking about this story, just a little something spicy to end on a Friday with, I sure have opinions about this. But the story is highlighted. The headline is video shows 4 tons of illegal marijuana burned by New York City Mayor Eric Adams. So Mayor Eric Adams took a victory lap Wednesday in the war on illegal marijuana shops, personally destroying 4 tons of illegal pot products seized by the city sheriff. The mayor sat at the controls of the Westbury Long Island Waste Disposal Plant, ready to get a special kind of high, not the kind that comes from using drugs, but one that comes from satisfaction of being able to say, quote unquote, mission accomplished. He used a crane to destroy the illegal pot ever so carefully. He lowered the boom to grab a load of white plastic bags containing the illegal weed, and afterwards saying, by burning the cannabis, it doesn't remain in our landfills, it doesn't remain on our streets, quote unquote.
I think it was just a flex. Like,
100%.
I burned this much weed.
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
more weed than Cheech and Chong on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Like,
was it just something for him to brag to his teenage kids or whatever about?
Exactly. Well, and also I think they wanted to stand close. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, and where do you fall on the federal decriminalization?
Here's the problem. The illegal pot shops. There's permits and that kind of thing. A whole bunch of red tape to get those things started. And a lot of that was withheld, especially from the lower income community, the black community. There was a whole initiative. There's this one company called Good Green, which is basically they give a lot of their proceeds to help the black community get into the marijuana space. So a big thing is just being granted the license to do this kind of stuff. So while I do very much so believe that, you do need to keep track of this stuff. There has to be, if we're going to legalize the sale of drugs, you need to keep track of that and, be responsible about it. But not issuing the same licenses or having the same avenue to grant those things, you're going to have these type of things pop up. So
what about instead of completely legalizing it, completely decriminalizing it, what about just removing it from the Schedule 1?
Sure.
What if they just turned around and said, look, we're not going to legalize it, but we are going to decriminalize it. We're not going to turn around and make a federal side of it. We're just going to stop.
Simply enough, if they treated it like we treat alcohol, where you need a license, you need a license to consume this in your building and the right regulations. Because to my knowledge, I think there might be one or two places that even have that right in Illinois. I don't know. I actually haven't looked into New York's laws about their decriminalization and what all that entails. But what it tells me is that a lot of people thought, okay, I'll just open up, add that to my bodega, and I'll be fine. And Eric Adams comes and says, "No, you give me the taxes on that." Yeah. I think it really sums up. At the end of the day, it's not, a criminal issue. It's not.
It's not regulated. Is the issue, and
the big problem is it's not regulated or taxed.
Yes, if you don't regulate it, you can't tax it. That's the biggest issue for it too. But at the end of the day, they might as well do it in the same way that they do all the taxes. If I want you to do something, I will give you a tax break for doing it. If I don't want you to do something, I will give you a tax penalty for doing it. So that's really the ebb and flow of what we're doing here, even to the point where Harris has put together, when they turn around and say the $25,000 that you're going to be given, they're not going to give you $25,000. They're going to make sure that you don't pay $25,000 is where it's going to be. Yeah. So look at it this way. If you only make, let's say the average American, $62,000 for the year, your taxes are not going to be $25,000, but your tax break will be $25,000, and therefore you will get all of your taxes back. And even if you have children, you may even get some money actually given back to you, including a newborn. And if you have a newborn, then you will get this proposed $6,000 for the first year of that newborn.
Nice. I'm holding out for family leave.
Yeah. Good job.
That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm not in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because of family leave. That's what I tell people on dating sites too. Don't even think that we're dating to marry until there's family leave.
Family leave. And then we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Then we can finally do something. But that's it too. I mean, a lot of people have complained about the medical system being tied to your employer as well. I've seen I saw a post the other day of a woman that said, I can go out tomorrow and marry a random person and they now have my medical benefits, but I can't give my medical benefits to my sister who has cancer.
Right.
It's the
marry
medical.
Your sister then, dummy.
There's only so many states you could do that. And it's just, and even then, I don't think the lady would be even allowed to marry her sister in those states. It's one of those things. But that's one of the issues that a lot of people have towards and we may do that for the single payer healthcare, we may talk. You know what? That may be a good legislation Thursday.
Sure.
Jumping through the Affordable Care Act and what everything's been going on.
Yeah, it'd be nice. That would be a thing we could do like quarterly. Just to kind of reset. Everything, or let everybody know. Remind ourselves what the options are, because it's just so confusing. There's so much talk about it in every different way, and everybody has these strong positions that they're just not willing to change their mind on. Let's talk about it.
Because Word Wednesday is filling up, man. I've got a lot of people sending me words. I got one that's coming in for budget.
Like it.
I've got another one that wants to do socialism.
Hate it.
Because we already did Republic and Democrat and anarchy. It's kind of it's system of government, and that's kind of taken the theme, but I want to kind of mix it up a little bit. We did the hot 3 of the systems of government. I mean, you know what a monarchy is. I don't need to talk about the kings and the pharaohs.
Might be fun to do a War of the Roses episode.
Yeah, okay, we can definitely do that. So then healthcare was another one that came up, but I think I may pivot over to a legislation discussion about it, where it's less about the history of healthcare and more about the legislation that everybody's been proposed. We're still looking for a replacement for the Affordable Care Act. It's still the 2 weeks of industrial week or whatever they were talking about before. But that's what I mean is there's a lot of things that are out there of information. But and even then on Tuesdays, we're filling up for the candidate side of it. I'm 2 weeks booked already with candidates. I'm working on 3 weeks ahead. So I may have all the candidates lined up until the end of the until November.
Love it.
I'm going to have all of them lined up. So I may have to expand the candidate day and actually start putting them in. And that's what we've tried to do. And that was why Mark and some of the other people, Mark Rice was over. I wanted to talk more about with him, but I want him to come back. I want him to come back over.
I see what you did.
And what I want to do is I want to keep a good half-hour window where everybody has their half hour. Because if I turn around and I say, well, you get a half hour, but you get 45 minutes, but you get the whole next hour, now I'm back to playing favorites. And if you think I'm playing favorites, it should be the words that come out of my mouth, not the actions that I take. I want to try to make sure my actions are as unbiased or umpire-ish as possible.
Sure.
Right? Because that's the way that I look at it here. And I was talking to somebody the other day when they told me that they liked the show from yesterday. They said it's the same kind of concept that if the team is bad and the team is throwing a bunch of balls and having a bunch of unforced errors and things like that, it's not the umpire that's being biased.
Right. Yeah.
It's the team being bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody as an umpire should not then go out and scrutinize the good team more to seem like they have favorites, because now you are being biased.
Yeah, it's one of those things like in the NFL, it's always like you see the makeup calls, and it's like, well, like, couldn't you just get it right? And that's why you see the replay being influenced, really influencing how the game works in football over the last 10 years. And then so much so that they moved it into baseball. Now baseball has replays, and you're just starting to see if this is what is, I guess, breeded out of playing baseball for so many years, is that you got people making up other bad calls to cover up bad calls. They just introduce technology into it.
Exactly. There's too much money into a lot of these sports that they have to appear to be fair and balanced, even if the actions to appear fair and balanced is wrong. The best example I can pull up is Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland not charging somebody for a political, to where it might look political, looks political. Like that is a political decision to not charge somebody because it looks political. That is a political decision.
Right.
So it's
full
there.
circle.
Yeah, and even then, I don't need to beat up on Eileen Cannon. Life has already done that enough. In that same kind of thing downstairs. And I'll tell you, that lady is not going to be a judge She is going to be impeached. She is going to, the entire circuit is already mad about her because she turned around and said special counsels are unconstitutional, which is absolutely wrong. And took it from a weird offshoot that Clarence Thomas had put together. So it's, I don't know. It's one of those odd things that are sitting
those in the wake of that Trump effect, man.
Mm-hmm. It's true. She was appointed by Trump, and she's trying everything that she can to thank him for it.
Sure.
So that's it. Also, reading that same article, we were talking about all of the money that has been spent in the political campaign as well. Turns out that over $47,000 of the Trump campaign goes to putting those ads on the channel that Trump specifically watches. So where he lives in West Palm Beach, there's the Fox channel that you were talking about, that local Fox channel. They have poured almost $50,000 into that channel alone because reported that they do not want Trump to feel bad.
Yeah.
They want him to, and his donors too, because that's the channel that's on in Mar-a-Lago.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Fox News local channel that's on in Mar-a-Lago is constantly playing Kamala Harris or even then the Lincoln Project. The Lincoln Project is only after the dude. Like, not to get, sure, they might say Harris needs to win, blah, blah, blah. But most of those ads that come out of the Lincoln Project are there to bash Donald Trump.
The latest ones that I've seen are literally posed like as if they're talking to Donald.
To him.
Yeah, it makes you think, though, just from an outsider's perspective, like how much focus is on not poking the bear that is Trump. You know, it's scary to think that, you know, so much focus would be to, you know, satiate an ego maniacal thought process.
There's people that feel invincible and feel that they're already being attacked anyway by that camp. So they said, look, if you're going to attack me anyway, then I'll just say whatever I want to you. If you're going to attack me, if I say something nice or if I say something controversial or I do something else, you're already going to hurt me. So I'll already do it. So, hey, we're wrapping up the show right now. Thank you for the Free Speech Friday. I know we got one caller. I'm sorry, caller. We can't get to you because we're wrapping up the show we got here. But on Monday, we will open up the phone lines again at 5 o'clock and do the headlines and phone lines as we do at 5 o'clock. Monetary Monday this week is actually going to be about labor and the labor movement, labor history. Why do we have Labor Day? Well, the same reason you have Labor Day is the same reason that you have weekends or maybe some of the benefits that you have.
8-hour workday.
8-hour workday. People died for that. Now, just like any of the other ones, they died for this right that we've got.
Some respect.
So that's what we're going to do. So the bosses are taking over on Monday, and we'll see you then. Thanks for listening to Apolitical Talk Show and WRMN, the talk of the town. Have a good weekend.
Dental care, located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Bender Dental wants everyone to be informed, appreciated, and cared for at all times. To prove it, they now offer a new patient exam for just $29. That includes consult, x-ray, exam, and cleaning. Let Bender Dental help you have healthy teeth and gums for a lifetime. Located at 217 North McLean Boulevard.